Calling turkeys and coyotes with your voice can be a heck of a lot of fun. But if you want to bring them in close, you gotta talk birdie to them. Also, you want to know how they tend to move across the landscape and have some decent camouflage. Click the link below to visit our online academy to learn more about natural voice calling for turkeys, as well additional techniques for deer, ravens, and others will be shown. The tips on vocal modulation will allow the hunter, birder, or nature enthusiast to bring him in for a close encounter. The ultimate goal is to touch the turkey or to bring it home for Thanksgiving, as you wish. So let us begin with the plain yelp. The plain yelp just happens naturally as the bird is just hanging out, saying, "Hey, I'm here," listening, "Where are you? Are you over there? Okay, I'm here," just checking in. So it's a kind of a baseline call, relaxed call. So if you do just a few in the morning, right as the birds are kind of coming out of the roost, you can let them know kind of where you're at and be like, "Oh, there's a hen turkey over there." This can work to your advantage, especially if there's other hen turkeys who want to be the boss. So the idea is get the ladies interested and the gentlemen will follow, just by nature. So for the plain yelp, we want to make sure we have enough rasp. And there's different ways that you can achieve this. You can do it exhaling or inhaling, okay? So if you exhale, you want to go, yow, 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 yow. You're kind of saying, ow, 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 ow. And you want to think in the back of your throat, you want to feel this spot here where your epiglottis is, and you want to kind of have that wheezy, whiny sound. Kind of like an old miser. So it takes a little bit of practice to find that sometimes. One way you can find that area of your vocal system is by grunting or groaning or moaning or growling. So you can be like, okay, because you're going to feel it right here in your throat. So if you can access that kind of raspiness, and you want to say, ow, 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 yow, 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 yow. You can say ow, or I kind of say yow, 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 but not clearly pronounced. So you're going to play around, find this spot here. So the plain yelp is just a few calls. And then there's also kind of a summing yelp or like a gathering yelp to, when the head lady is calling all the other turkeys together. That's a little more aggressive and there's more yelps involved. So that's more like, so that's all with the exhaling technique. With the inhaling technique, you're going to go, ah, same kind of whiny, moany sound. Kind of like a wraith or a zombie. Right? Pardon me. And you're going to inhale while you do that, and you want to really use your diaphragm. When I first started, kind of probably sounded more like a seal pup than a turkey, but you're going to sound a little goofy at first, and don't let that bother you. So inhaling sharply with the diaphragm, and then you tense your vocal cords up a bit. So if you were to do it slowly, you would go, yo, oh, 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 it hurts, oh. You might get a little bit of a sore throat, but it shouldn't be permanent damage, okay? You might lose your voice, but you've been talking turkey. Okay, so that's the yelp. Then we have the purr, and there's usually a little putt that I hear with it. That's when I've had a bird a couple feet behind me, and she was just putting and purring, and she was so happy feeding just out of the roost. She must have thought I was a dead log because she was so close. She scared a mouse right across my face. It was so funny. So that one is like more in the front of your mouth here with your tongue and your teeth and your lips. And you're kind of making this shape with your mouth, and you kind of start with a little. So it's a putt and a purr together. And if you listen to turkeys, quietly, it almost sounds like they're talking, like, "Hey guys, check out these snails over here, boy, they're good," or something. But there's different inflections depending on the individual. So that's the putt and purr. Then we have just a regular putt. Can be very relaxed, just feeding along. Or it can be an alarm call, which you want to avoid making. When you're trying to get turkeys close to you, don't make that sound. Okay, that's the very sharp alarm call putt. So there's different kinds of putts. You've got your relaxed putt and your alarm putt. Then we have kind of like, it's like a kiki, when a hen gets excited, kind of like cackly sound. Sometimes if I'm calling, the boss hen will respond with this. And I often wonder if she's like saying, "Hey, this is my territory. Who's that over there?" I don't know, but that's kind of what it feels like. Or maybe she's telling a story. It's hard to say. But that's kind of more aggressive. And then you have the fighting purr, which is a faster, little bit higher pitch purr. And you can play with that. But the three basic calls, the yelp, the purr, and the gobble, are going to get you most of your traction, calling in those females and then having the males follow them. So for the gobble, you want to go, ow, kind of saying cow or ow, and you're doing that same kind of inhale. Ow, 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 ow. So you say, ow, and you use your tongue, right? So you go, ow, ow, ow. So that's one that the boss gobblers will make. Rarely do you see jakes make that sound because the old toms will tell them real quick to silence themselves. But you do see multiple gobblers talking, and they will respond to you. The other call you see a gobbler making is a and a drum. Okay, so you want to think very resonant in your chest and like forcing air and then hitting your teeth with your tongue. And then you go kind of like you're swallowing. Okay, so you go. And you see that when they're strutting around. It's really neat when you get close to them to be able to hear that. It's so resonant. You just feel their whole body. Often too, when they gobble, you'll feel the pressure and the air from the force of it. It's pretty incredible what these birds can do with their voice. So when learning to access your voice, you want to be very playful and enjoy all the goofy sounds that you would make. Okay, so what you want to do is play around with your throat, your teeth, your tongue, all of your mask to find different kinds of sounds. Okay, and especially you want to develop this area here, right down like where your epiglottis is, your larynx, right down in here, okay? And you want to allow that to be nice and deep and growly. Ways that you can modulate that, you tighten your throat, you'll increase the pitch. So you want to find a range through that type of timbre or that kind of quality of sound, that kind of growly sound. So what you can start with is like a throat singer thing. You kind of want to be growly with it, like right? Or you can get into okay, it can be pretty fun. So start with that. Start playing around with making that sound and trying to let it happen naturally, okay? In particular, when you do a grunt for a buck, you want it to sound deep and relaxed, at least for an older, more mature buck. So you want it to be down in here. Right down there. The first one was a little high, right? But did you hear how I dropped in the second time? And then you can stick your tongue out and then just allow it to happen like a natural kind of grunt, deep from your belly. Sometimes if I put a little W on there, if I say like or like a sound, it comes out a little easier. So that's how you access the throat here, and you want to get comfortable with that. Okay, that's where you're going to find your buck grunt sound as well as the raven call. For the raven call, you want to use the similar kind of technique as you would for a buck grunt, but you raise the pitch up a little higher and you bring the sound a little higher into the throat. So instead of down here, it's up here with your vocal cords, but it's still vibrating your throat. So for a raven, think yeah. You're gonna say yeah, wah, wah. But you want to have that rattly sound, okay? It's the same kind of, grovelly, raspy kind of sound in your throat. So if you do the buck, it's down in here, and then when you get to the raven, it's going to move up slightly. So it's up in here. So find a way to make that kind of growly sound way in the back of your throat there. Whatever helps you access that sound, go for it, okay? But think of a nice, easy vibration. Throat might get a little sore at first, but you'll get better, and it will get stronger. As you get into natural voice calling, you're going to become very, very familiar with your larynx and your epiglottis, okay? This voice box here contains all that you have to modulate sound, aside from your mask, your teeth, and your tongue, which are also very important. But you want to be able to access this and get it to vibrate in certain ways to make the rasp for your turkey call, the kind of low vibration for your buck grunt, and the higher pitched one for the raven call. So what you can do first is think about growling back in your throat. And so if you feel it here, bring it back down. You can be like, think about passing the least amount of air across it that you can and getting it to vibrate. You can be like, ooh, whatever helps you to find the sound, okay? Allow that to vibrate freely. So when you're going for your buck grunt call, okay, you want that to vibrate in a nice relaxed manner. So you want it to be like so you can be like you're like and what you want to do is work on making it as deep and low as you can for an older buck or slightly higher pitched for a younger deer. So the big old buck would be more like I can't even get down there, my throat's getting a little sore. But you get the idea. So the deeper you make it, the older the animal is. And this really does work. One time, the biggest buck I ever saw was walking across the field right behind a doe. I grunted because I didn't know what else to do. They were walking towards the thicket. She was definitely in heat and the rut was on. So anyways, she turns around, comes right into the middle of the field broadside. And I was like, oh my God, not even 70 yards away. Then this big 12-point comes right up behind her, sticks his nose in her crotch, and just stands there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And honestly, I'm not a trophy hunter, I'm a meat hunter. And at that moment, I knew they were going to go breed. And I didn't have the heart to shoot him. Even though, wow, I mean, I was in awe of this animal. Well, you know, who knows if he made it through the winter. Actually, I think the neighbor got him the next day, but he bred that doe that day, and so the genetics were good. There's not a lot of big old deer here because there's a lot of pressure from all around. So the likelihood of one even making it to 4.5 years old is very small. So seeing that guy, knowing how smart and fit he was, I had to let him walk that day. Just how it goes, I guess, with me. When you want to make a raven type call, it's similar to the buck grunt. However, it's a little higher in pitch, so you're going to tense up a little bit more. But it's the same kind of, grovelly, raspy kind of sound in your throat. So if you do the buck, it's down in here, and then when you get to the raven, it's going to move up slightly. So it's up in here. So find a way to make that kind of growly sound way in the back of your throat there. Whatever helps you access that sound, go for it, okay? But think of a nice, easy vibration. Throat might get a little sore at first, but you'll get better, and it will get stronger. Okay, so that's the raven and the buck grunt. Another way that I've called in coyotes without using my voice, but still a natural call, is by sucking on the back of my hand. Maybe you've seen this before, but you kind of want to mimic a dying rabbit, basically. And the closer you can get to that feeling of distress, the better. Another important thing to note in doing all of this calling is the actual feeling that you convey through the call. If you notice in the video, the first purr I did, they kind of shifted their body language a little. But when I dropped the pitch of that purr and made it more soothing, and they then just went right back to feeding. So if you're doing a purr, it can go from anything from I'm gonna fight with you, I'm chasing you around and I'm mad at you, to oh, I'm relaxed, everything is good. Right? So think about that when you do all these calls. You can make a putt, putt, but you can also make a putt that is an alarm putt. Putt, putt, putt. So as you are communicating to these animals, you know, it might sound kind of weird, but the feeling that you actually have and hold will help convey that actual feeling to the animal. Just like when you're talking to a person, you can say, really? 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 Right? So think about how you're saying what you're saying and when you say it. Especially when you're talking turkey. So you can also make a frog call by trapping air in this little spot here, right below your cheekbone. Make a little pocket. And then you just squeeze it. Not sure what frog that would be, but just for fun. You don't want to make that last call. That's the alarm putt. But all the other ones can be fun to play with when you're calling turkeys or coyotes with a natural voice.